Dr. Mehta here, sharing another pre-med secret. Today's question is a really important one. When do I submit my medical school application? Before we dive into an answer for that question, take a second and hit the subscribe button below. There's nothing more important than having access to good quality information during your pre-medical school years. And you'll get it by subscribing to our channel. Also, feel free to drop any pre-med questions you have in the comments below, and we'll do our best to respond. Okay, now let's tackle the question of when should I submit my med school application? There's a quick answer to this question and a slightly longer one. The easy quick answer is submit it as soon as you can in the year that you're applying. The longer answer has a lot of different nuances to it, so let's dive in. First, let's take the fact that there isn't just one application to medical school. In fact, there's three med school applications. The first is the American Medical College Application Service, or AMCAS. This application goes to allopathic schools across the country. It's sort of like the common application for college. The second is the COMLEX, run by the American Association of College of Osteopathic Medicine. This goes to osteopathic schools across the country. Finally, there's a third application service called the Texas Medical and Dental School Application Service, or TMD-SAS. This application, as you guessed, is for Texas medical schools. So as an applicant, you may be just filling out one of these applications, or you may have to fill out all three, depending on your situation and where you're going to apply. Now, in general, most of these applications have an opening date around May or June of any given year. AMCAS opened on May 1st, 2019, for example. That means you could start filing your application then, but you couldn't actually hit the submit button until May 30th. The COMLEX opened on May 2nd, with schools actually receiving applications in June, and the TMD-SAS around May 1st. So regardless of the application, you can see that pretty much the time they open up, and that's really when you should be submitting, is around early May. Now, why do you want to submit that early? Because most schools work on a rolling application cycle, meaning that they evaluate applicants as they come and make decisions. If you apply much later than that, you run the risk of being an applicant with very few spots to compete for. Now, one more final thing to consider. Ignore a school's application deadline. That's usually a bad idea if you apply as late as their deadline, because there's very few spots remaining at a school. Application due dates are listed for many schools as late as December or even January, but don't be the applicant that puts your application in then. Be the applicant who puts your application in May. Now, every situation is unique. What if you don't have an MCAT score yet? What if your final semester grades still haven't come in? In most of these scenarios, it makes sense to wait, but you should talk to a med school coach advisor before you do to make sure you're doing the right thing. If you have all your grades, if you have an MCAT score, May, that's when you should be submitting your application, regardless of the application service you're talking about.